You know what? We shouldn't be zooming anymore here.
Right here, yeah.
Let's take a look one just for the speed. I was in Hungary. I was living in Hungary, and I was doing all kind of different occupations at that time. I was playing ping pong as a professional. I was working in a factory, and at one time I decided to go to Budapest and try to become a cinematographer. And I always liked to travel, and I wanted to see the world, and also in the back of my mind, I was thinking about Hollywood. I wanted to go to Hollywood and learn, because I knew that after 4 years in school in Hungary, I still didn't know enough. So I wanted to go to the West and learn whatever I can learn there, and then later on go back to Hungary and utilize it in my filmmakings. In 1956 October, we were living historical moments. Everybody was very excited. A revolution happens only once in a lifetime, and maybe in 100 years. And everybody was on the streets demonstrating and trying to take the future of the country in our hands. And as young people, we were really excited, and it took about 3 days when we realized that we were cameramen, directors in the motion picture industry, and nobody even thought about to pick up a camera in our hand and photograph the events. So we went and shot for a couple of days from hidden angles, from windows, from doorways, and we were hiding always for a shot. And we shot a few thousand feet of film. What we really wanted to photograph, it was the spirit of the revolution, and we captured that. And we had all this film in our hands. When on November 4th the Russians came in, the film was hidden in the walls. So they were looking for people who would like to take the film to the West. So I found a friend of mine, Laszlo Kovács, who is also a cameraman now in Hollywood. And I ran into him on the street and I said, "Hey, Laszlo, what about going?" He said, "Going? Going where?" I said, "You know where." Oh, cinematography is, part of it is technique, part of it is art. The majority part of it at the beginning is technique. You have to learn technique for years and years and years before you can even consider that you are an artist. Once you have all the tools, once you learn the technique, then you can become an artist, which means that you can utilize your lighting to express yourself. It's very difficult to learn it. Very difficult because I think you can only learn it by shooting it, by using the light. It comes by experience. When you work every day with the camera, and you know that it's different kind of lighting situations, like backlight or front light or soft light. I think by experience you start learning that what you can expect is going to be on film. Okay, now come on down. The best way to use light for the purpose of creating mood is to select the time of the day to shoot. Like, right now we are here at the pyramids and we wanted to have an early morning light because the Sphinx is lit very nicely with the early morning light. And that's why we came here very early to capture that. For example, the sun is right now from the east because it's very early in the morning, right? So that right now, where the way we are facing, I'm standing sideways. So right now I have a side light on my face and this side of the face goes dark. Now when we come around, for example, now you are in a total backlight situation. And this is the light which gives you a nice halo around the hairs. You voice most of the time beautifully with female actresses. They love that kind of a light, and we try to use as much as we can of that kind of a light. And of course, we can talk about dusk lighting. The latest rays of the sun is the most beautiful effect probably in films. And it's very difficult to capture it because you have to shoot the scene in 5 minutes.
Cutting.
Jen?
And cut. That's a cut.
Which part was wrong?
I mean, just so it looks like they arise or not pie. Yeah, they go right to mark.
I don't think a lot about composition, to tell you the truth. I think the composition is very important in paintings and in still photography. The composition in films is not as important. I think many elements are more important than composition, like, for example, the acting.
La caméra tourne et Vilmos est derrière et tout d'un coup, à la dernière seconde, il vous dit un petit mot et vous sentez qu'il est conscient de peut-être de vous à ce moment-là, que attention, regarde un peu plus par là, ne va pas trop par là, parce qu'il a une relation personnelle avec l'acteur à ce moment-là pour permettre à l'acteur d'être au mieux dans le plan. C'est très enrichissant et c'est très encourageant.
Where is she looking? If she's on that side?
She sees him looking at the children. Marie, look out this way. I might be able to get it just if I hold this and I see her look. Just a little longer look from here. Can't we just go with a little longer lens from here?
Yeah.
From right
I
here?
mean, otherwise this set for the shot.
Yeah. I don't want to make them all at one time. I always thought I was going to have to do 2 sets of them.
DP is your instrument, the instrument that you use to realize your vision. I was introduced to Vilmos by Joanne Corelli, who was then the producer of Deer Hunter. She thought that we would have a good working relationship. We had never met. But I knew on the first day, on the first setup and the very first shot, looking through the camera, somehow that we were seeing things with the same eye. And since then, our relationship, I think, has evolved to the point where not that much communication is necessary. I think that we work very much now, perhaps like two musicians, two jazz musicians. We're each playing two different instruments in different parts of the room sometime, but somehow the melody comes out the same.
The power of the cinematographer usually depends on the production. It depends on the director, how much power the director wants to give you. If the director really likes your work and he wants you to control the set, control the lighting and the look of the picture, then he's going to give you a lot of power. I won't call myself the slave of the director, only if the director wants you to be a slave of his ideas. Then you become a slave. I would try to think about myself as being a co-director in the visual part of it. I'm not co-directing the actors, I'm not co-directing anything else, but I'm co-directing the visual elements in the picture. I eventually would like to try to direct just for that purpose, that to be able to handle all the elements in a movie, just to be able to control the visuals 100%. But it has to be a very, very special picture. It has to be very visual. I would not like to deal with too much dialogue. I would like to really make a picture where if I would turn the soundtrack off, I would understand the picture totally. For me to have a lighting style, that would be, I would consider that bad, because I think each film should have its own style. Like, McCabe and Mrs. Miller, for example, which was one of my earlier films, that had a very particular style, which I didn't follow that style up until I made Heaven's Gate. Heaven's Gate was a little bit similar to McCabe and Mrs. Miller, but besides those two pictures, I never used that style again. McCabe and Mrs. Miller, we used very soft, diffused light. We wanted to create very old-looking images. We wanted to make McCabe look like it's a memory. It exists only in the fantasy. It wanted to evoke images like when you see old, faded photographs. Colors are there, but they're very faded, very diffused. Most of the time I wanted to create either warm images like yellowish, brownish, like sepia tone images, or somewhat on the bluish tones like the exteriors. I wanted to make it feel like it's cold outside, and that had to be always on the bluish side.
Until the night is over, I'm just a station on your way. I know I'm not your lover.
The important thing for the cinematographer is to be able to work fast and very efficiently, so it doesn't slow down production. If you start using old technique like using the arcs too much, like using 10 or 15 arcs, and everybody on the set has to wait to set those lights, and everybody's going to be very tired of you. And if you come in as a young cameraman and you are using HMI lights or using small units and come up with the same kind of an image or even better, now we are becoming very popular, because that's what they want you to be able to work fast with new technique, new equipment, even if it's more expensive. Speed is very, very essential. You want me to walk over there? Hey, Larry! I'm getting 5-6. What better flood it out?
Give you 5-6.
Flood it!
Give you 5-6 for it.
This is incredible. Look at this light.
We can't carry you through this.
The only person that's lit in the whole place.
We can't carry you through this whole film.
It's always lit.
We can't. I mean, you know what I mean? We can't
I'd
keep
like to
blaming
do
it on
my
the layout.
interview. Excuse me. I'd like to do my interview right now. This light. This is Vilmos Zsigmond
Okay,
lighting.
listen, what is, he takes over, you don't even have to photograph me
Wait a second. The
anymore.
reason why I chose Vilmos Zsigmond is because my Pathé was broke.
Nicky, lower down. You still have one more lamp. You now go all the way to the corner, into the hole, and go as high as you can go. Yeah, you can go more into the corner now. So this is where the light should really go, from here into the John Ward space, right?
All right.
The light is the most important thing for the cameraman. The cameraman can create mood with his lighting, and that's really his sole property in a film. The film is lots of people work on the film, and the cameraman is the only who can control the light. So, try the smoke very close to the window first, okay?
It's going to be fabulous.
I think it's going to look terrific. Oh, look at the bird. Woo! I'm turning you around. Watch it.
I'm in the shot now.
Oh, they are going to be all right. We'll all the way up. All the way up.
In here?
بعدين لما هنرجع كأننا بنعمل الصلاة دي خلاص.
Tail?
In a sense, all we are is a very sophisticated recording device, and we are there in order to record an event that the actors have to create. Everybody has to, in a sense, defer to the behavioral element of the actor. That's the most important thing. Otherwise, one can get a very brilliant execution and record an event that's no good. It doesn't make any sense. Whereas you can literally record a brilliant event, you can record it badly and it'll still work if the event is brilliant. So that the most important thing is the creation of the event.
I love you. Bye.
What we wanted to do in the Rose, that as many times as possible, turn off lights. Because basically what the film is about how the Rose kills her son, which means the light goes off, it's dark. And it was a symbol, basically. It's a symbolistic way to have the audience feel the loss of a person.
look, there is no, film is, an art is not an accident. And it never is an accident. And a man like a cinematographer has to develop a craft and has to know his instrument just as well as a violinist has to know his.
Well, I think what we have to talk about Hollywood lighting, generally speaking, is bad lighting. I mean, before the new generation came up, actually, we had lots of cameramen in Hollywood who were lighting in a very false way. They're using backlight all the time, whether it was justified or not. You remember the romantic comedies of Hollywood pictures. The look was always the people had the halo lighting around them, whether there was a window behind it or not. Now, what we did actually different, we went back actually and learned from painters. And also I won't say that invented things, we just tried to copy things from real life, like studying existing lighting situations, like what the painters do all the time.
Louis! You're gonna kill us both, you son of a bitch, before we ever see you in the water! Slow it down, Louis, come on. Here we go. Come on, up over there.
Deliverance was not much a lighting film, actually. It didn't give me much chance to create the mood with lighting. We basically selected to shoot most of the film on an overcast day because we wanted to have the nice, soft, natural light in the film. And Deliverance basically was a film about composition and camera movements and basically camera.
Sometimes you have to lose yourself before you can find anything.
Any snakes around here?
This is the one. There she is.
I like still photography myself. I do a lot of stills when I'm on vacation or when I'm on location scouting. I like to capture the mood of a place in one still. But the movie, shooting a movie is much, much more different because in a movie, the movement adds something to something. That, like the camera movement is creating mood. And also the movement of the lighting sometimes. Cinematography is superior to still photography.
This one? I would, Vilmos? All right, rehearsal please. You got it, you see him now? That'll help. All right, hot tap. And release him. And action. Action, John.
Stay with me, stay with me! Come on!
I don't consider myself an avant-garde cameraman. I consider myself a good cameraman. So I think I am if you can say something, maybe I'm an experimental cameraman in a sense that I try new things. Critics used to call me a poetic realist. You do poetry in images and in lighting. And I think it's a very flattering thing, you know. I think that all good cinematographers are poets.